you're scoring somewhere in the 505 to 605 range on the GMAT right now, feeling like you are not good enough or maybe you won't be able to crack the GMAT, then this video is for you. I am Madhuri, an ISB alumna and your go-to person for all things higher education and career. The first time I took my GMAT exam, I scored 590, which is equivalent to 555 in the Focus Edition numbers. That's low. 555 is somewhere in the 48th percentile, right at the cusp of the global average score, and definitely not enough to get into a top B school within India or abroad. Today I'm going to tell you what changed between that 555 and the 695 I walked out with 2 months later during my second attempt at the GMAT, because I don't want you to give the exam multiple times. I want you to get it right in the first go by learning from my mistakes and focusing on everything that I did right. So I'm going to walk you through my complete 7-step approach to increase my GMAT score, what my study plan looked like, what study materials I used, how I spaced my mock tests, because it made all the difference for me and for everyone I have mentored for the GMAT exam since then. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon because there is a lot more in store for you in the upcoming videos too. Let's get started. The first and foremost important step of my 7-step approach was to stop relying only on the official guide for all my learning. Official guide only has questions. It doesn't teach you concepts, which is extremely essential to get questions right consistently. I researched many options such as Manhattan, Princeton, Kaplan, eGMAT, Crackverbal, and finally landed on Magoosh. I started with Magoosh's 7-day free trial to explore how their setup works and whether I'm comfortable with their teaching style. Since it was a trial, I had access to limited topics and functionality, and the rest of it was grayed out. I loved the way they explained concepts in their videos, especially for Quant, so I signed up for Magoosh's premium subscription that included Quant, Verbal, and DI. This is not an advertisement or promotion. I'm sharing this because their videos truly helped me understand concepts with clarity, especially for Quant, and their approach prepared me for every kind of question possible. You can also go for their 7-day free trial first before deciding whether it's the right fit for you. I have mentioned the link in the description box and pinned it in the comment section as well. The second step was to target a realistic GMAT exam date. The first college deadline when I was working towards my MBA was that of ISB Round 1 applications, and I knew that I would need at least 15 days to polish the application and my essays. So I gave myself a deadline for the GMAT. Do a similar analysis for yourself to finalize your exam date, and in all probability, be prepared with a backup date if at all the first one doesn't go well. Hopefully it won't come to that if you follow everything I'm sharing in this video. Now that my study materials and exam date were sorted, the third step was to make a detailed study plan. On a high level, this constituted how much time I would study for in a typical day. Then I wrote down what exactly I would do each hour on a particular day. On the Focus Edition, Data Insights is scored exactly like Quant and Verbal and weighted equally. So I had imbibed Data Insights right from the beginning, giving it dedicated preparation time instead of squeezing in it at the end of my study sessions. I knew how many concept videos I had to watch for Quant and Verbal and Data Insights on Magoosh, and what total number of questions I had to solve from official guide and Magoosh combined. Factoring all of this, I planned everything on an hour-to-hour basis for the next 2 months. I know, sounds robotic and mechanical, but it made a lot of difference because when I set out to study, I knew exactly what I had to study that day, where from, and for how long. No decision fatigue in the moment, no inertia. I would just open my study plan and get started. Since many of you have been asking to share my GMAT study plan with you all, I have converted it to a system that you can personalize to create your own day-to-day study plan. Just enter your start date and your target exam date, and you will get a day-to-day plan for your timeline over email. Try it out for the first week of your prep, then you can upgrade to get the full study plan. The link is mentioned in the description box and pinned in the comment section. Moving on to how I studied, I always tell my students that GMAT is a game of accuracy and speed. You first need to tackle accuracy and then focus on speed. That's exactly what I did as my fourth step. As per my study plan, I tackled one concept at a time. First, I did Quant because that was a weaker area for me, then Verbal because I was comparatively better, and then Data Insights. By studying focused concepts one at a time, my entire attention for a day or two would be on a specific concept. I'd solve questions related to it and make notes. This helped me nail down concepts faster than if I were studying random topics every day. Your custom study plan that you will get from the link in the description box will take care of this aspect as well. For the first few weeks, I deliberately practiced without a strict timer, focusing purely on getting accuracy as close to 100% as I could on each question type. As my accuracy improved, I started focusing on speed. I would solve each question with a timer running, see how long I'm taking to arrive at the right answer, and how much delta I had to cover to meet my target time. Then I switched to a tapered countdown mode by reducing 5 to 10 seconds each time I would solve until I was able to get to the right answer in the target time limit. Speed, built on top of accuracy, moves your score in the right direction because once you know how to get the answer right, you can focus on doing that exact same process at a faster speed. The fifth step in my renewed approach was constant revision. I mentioned a few minutes ago that when I would study in a focused manner for a concept, I would make notes too. That was extremely important because amidst all of this studying, I had to ensure that I don't forget what I had studied a week or two ago. So I would revise all my notes from start to end almost every day, sometimes every alternate day. For example, at the end of day 6, I would revise everything from my notes from day 1 to day 6. On day 18, I revised my notes from day 1 to day 18 and then closed for the day. I hope you get the idea. Basically, revision is key. And even within that revision, I paid more attention to the concepts or question types I was often getting wrong. This data was coming from the sixth step I took, which was to maintain an error log. Every time I got a question wrong during my timed practice sessions, I would note down which section, topic, question type it was, and most importantly, why I got the question wrong. Did I not know the concept? Did I know it but make a careless error? Did I misread the question? Or did I run out of time? That one habit, more than anything else, told me exactly where my revision focus needed to be because it started showing me patterns of my mistakes. I noticed that I was consistently misreading questions that I had a particular phrasing in data insights. I was consistently rushing the last few questions of quant because I'd spent more time per question earlier in the section. And you only see these patterns when you're tracking dozens of mistakes, not just a handful. But doing it on loose paper or a random spreadsheet gets messy fast once you are a few weeks in. Your custom study plan will have an inbuilt error log. Make sure you use it religiously because the constant journaling of mistakes and revision of concepts really helped me in ingraining the correct approaches in my head, and I'm sure it'll help you too. The seventh step I took was attempting mock tests throughout my prep, not just at the end, under actual test conditions. Same time of the day that I had booked my real exam for, same break structure. Initially, I took a mock every 2 weeks to get a reality check on whether I was performing better or at least on the concepts that I had thoroughly studied so far. I would then spend the rest of the day just analyzing what mistakes I had made on the mock, logging them in my error log, and making notes to ensure I don't repeat the same mistakes again. It was important to not delay that analysis to another time or do it another day. It was important that I do it that very day while the question was still fresh in my mind so I could actually remember why I had made the choice I had made. That immediate review is what made the mistake patterns visible so quickly. Do a similar thing for yourself. Give yourself a reality check and be honest with yourself constantly about your test results. Accordingly, be flexible to either study more aggressively if you have a strict deadline as I did, or to reschedule your exam as per your prep. A week before the exam, I gave mocks every alternate day and analyzed my results on that same day, making notes of what needs to be improved. In between mock days, I did 3 things. Revised all of my concepts again, mostly from my notes, focusing more on the concepts I got wrong in the previous mock. Revisited Magoosh videos of concepts that I was consistently making mistakes in, and solved random questions from the OG. I would just open the book to any page and start solving a random question on that page to get my brain used to switching between question types. I also used this week to lock in my section order. I chose to start with verbal first because it was my strongest section and I wanted that early confidence boost. Then I went for quant and then data insights. The last mock I gave was one day before my exam. Apart from that, I mostly just kept revising from my notes and didn't solve much the day before the exam. After the 7-step approach, this time when I left for the exam center, I was still nervous, but this time I told myself one thing. I have done everything I could. I studied as much as I could. I have prepared myself for this, so all I need to do is tackle one question at a time. Nothing more. Just one question at a time. And the score will take care of itself. So that's what I did. I got myself to the exam center and solved one question at a time, not worrying whether it was wrong or right. I moved on after I chose an answer. I remember my heart was in my mouth when I marked the final answer and I saw that loading button on the screen before the score appears. And guess what? The score did take care of itself. I had like a huge smile and I literally fist bumped in the air, not realizing that I was on camera and the person outside was actually probably watching me. But to hell with that, I had finally gotten the score that I had worked so hard for. Take it from me, a good score on the GMAT is possible. No matter whether it's your first attempt or second or third, if you're looking at a low baseline mock score, struggling with improving your score, or feeling discouraged by it, I want you to know one thing. The number you see on the screen is not a measure of your intelligence. It's a measure of how unoptimized your current preparation strategy is. Which is actually good news because unoptimized things can be fixed quickly once you know the right approach. My score jump from 555 to 695 didn't come from working harder in some vague sense. It came from being specific about what was actually going wrong and being disciplined about fixing those specific things with my 7-step approach. 2 months is enough time to improve your score, but only if every week has a clear, specific objective. Start by finalizing your exam date and study material, planning your schedule, studying religiously by giving yourself a reality check from time to time with revision and mock tests, and just focus on one question at a time. I would also like to highlight here that I had a hard deadline and I had to work towards it for my own personal reasons. But please don't feel too pressured to cram your study plan in 2 months or 3 months. A lot of people that I have mentored as well take 6 months to prepare for GMAT. So it's totally okay to work on your own timeline and study as much as you can. The key here is to be honest with yourself about how much time you need to study, what deadlines you are chasing. Do only what seems feasible and achievable for you. It's the hard truth that matters. If you're in the middle of your own prep right now and your scores feel stuck, or if you'd like help building specific week by week plan based on where you are starting from, schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. I would love to mentor you. The link to book a call is in the description box and pinned in the comments section. Tell me your current mock score in the comments. I read every single one and I'll point you toward where I would start from if I were in your shoes. If this video motivated you or you found my suggestions helpful, give a big fat thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Don't forget to click on the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.